So we are going to be showing our friends how to hook up and set up their brand new RV.
Hi guys, it's Brad from It's About Time Now. Recently, I received a call from a family friend about 3 hours north of us who said they'd been watching our videos and they've decided to buy an RV. And we went, what? And they said, yep, I'm going to buy an RV and I'm going to go travel. And I said, that's an awesome idea. And they said, can you come up and teach us how to use it? Now, a lot of you are new and you've just bought your RV and you've had the walkthrough with the dealer and he showed you everything out there on the lot, but he really didn't show you how to hook everything up or what you really need. So we're going to take a few minutes in today's video and we're going to cover just the very basics of what you need to hook up your RV at an RV park, the minimum number of things you've got to have, and maybe a few nice to haves while we're in there, but the things you've got to have to be able to make this RV the home that you want it to be. Now, it doesn't matter if you bought a van camper or a Class A. They all need the same basic materials. Some dealerships will provide you with a starter package for your RV, while many others will not. Amazon's a great place to look for these, as well as Walmart and of course your local camping store. So we're going to cover the basic items that you've got to have in order for your RV to be self-contained and for you to be able to get what's contained in it out of it. So we're talking fresh water, sewer connections, and electrical. So stay with me. Here we go. So you've done your checkout with your dealer on the lot, and they may or may not have told you that this rig needs to be completely level when you get to your site, or at least very close to it, especially if you have a slide. Slides need to be level. Otherwise, it can put a lot of stress on the slide motor mechanisms that make them extend and retract. The other thing that's very important for you to be level is your refrigerator. The RV refrigerator is a gas refrigerator in most cases. And if you get this rig tilted, that refrigerator may not be able to cool. It could literally shut off. So the number one thing you want to buy is a small level. Any small level will do. And then when you get to your campsite, you want to check, in fact, that you are level. So how do we level our rig? Great question. Whether you use blocks or some type of a leveler, we use Anderson levelers like this one right here. You can use blocks, you can use any manufacturer's levelers. You need to check the level on the rig and then if necessary, adjust it. So I always check Gumby from the side on this bar, and then I check Gumby from the back. The next thing that we do is hook up electric. We use a surge protector to protect Gumby from most pedestals. I'm not as concerned with it getting an over voltage as I am getting an under voltage, which could cause damage to the air conditioning system or to computers that we're trying to charge. So we highly recommend the use of a surge protector. For us, Gumby's 30 amp service plugs in right here. First thing is, I keep all my freshwater equipment in a box that I can seal up so that it is not going to get contaminated by anything else. This is drinking water. We want to make sure that we keep it safe. So in my box I have my water pressure regulator. There are many brands, there are many types. This is just the one that I chose. It is critical that you have a water pressure regulator, as many campgrounds have water pressure in excess of 55 psi, pounds per square inch, and that is very capable of breaking a water pipe inside your RV, and that is something you don't want to experience. So this is probably one of the most important items that you can purchase, is the water pressure regulator for your freshwater system. Next up, we need a freshwater, drinking water safe water hose. And that's all it should ever be used for. It should never be used to wash the RV, shouldn't be used to flush anything, should only be used for hooking drinking water to your RV. My particular hose is white. You can find them in white or blue. Just make sure the packaging says drinking water safe. The other thing that I do is I connect my two ends together when I'm not using the hose. I don't want this open where things can crawl in it, so when I'm done with it and gonna put it away, I put it together, and that way it is sealed. I certainly recommend that you have a water filter of some type, especially here on the east coast of the US. A lot of your campgrounds have a high sand content if they're on a well, believe it or not. So you want to stop that from entering your freshwater tank. So I recommend that you have some type of a freshwater filter. Okay, so let's talk about how we hook this up. A lot of your new RVs have a freshwater connection on the side of the RV. You may have a manifold for filling your tank or putting it into the RV. But it's extremely important that you know which one says city water connection, because I have another connection that looks just like it over here. This is not a city water connection. This is a sewage flush connection, and we'll talk more about that in a few minutes, but they look exactly the same. Here's one your dealer may not have told you. When you're ready to disconnect your freshwater connection, turn the water off at the spigot, go inside the rig and open a faucet to relieve the pressure. Otherwise, when you go to unhook this hose, you're going to take a bath. It's going to have pressure behind it, and it's going to be like a sprinkler. Okay, a lot of your new rigs have a manifold system for filling the fresh water tank. My particular rig here on Gumby, I have a separate fill to put water in the freshwater tank that's on board. The city water connection bypasses this tank and just runs water straight to the faucets in the shower. This is how I fill the tank so that we can use the water pump inside when we're self-contained, if we're boondocking or not connected to fresh water. Okay, the next thing we're going to talk about is our sewer hose. Now on Gumby, it didn't come with a bumper I could store it in. So I added these Valterra sewer hose holders. This is just your regular old sewer hose. The first thing you'll notice about my sewer hoses is I have caps on them. The reason I have caps on them, and these are twist lock caps just like you would connect them to the rig, and we'll talk about that in just a minute, is because if there's anything in these hoses, I want it to stay inside these hoses. So I cap both ends. I carry two hoses, about 20 feet worth. This is a heavy duty sewer hose. This is an area you don't want to skimp on. Okay, you'll notice that I'm wearing gloves. This is an area where you really don't want to get this on your hands. So I just buy 9mm gloves from Harbor Freight. And they come in a box like this, and I just keep them in the rig. I have a black box to store all of my black tank equipment. So inside this box, I have various connectors and extra sewer packs and what have you, just in case I need to connect to something. I've covered this a little bit later, but this is a sewer elbow. 95% of the time, you're going to use this. So you need to buy this. This allows you to actually thread this on to your sewer connection down on the ground at the RV park or wherever you are. If it doesn't have a screw-in connection, the end of the elbow is long enough, it goes far enough into the pipe that it will typically stay in there without you doing anything. Okay, so when you are connecting this, you want to make sure that these little pins on the end of this hose lock completely onto the elbow or the rig, as far as they will go. That way you know you have a secure connection and it's not going to blow off and get all over you. All right, you notice I have this bright orange hose. This hose is the only hose I connect to my sewer flush. If you have a rig that's equipped with a sewer flush, or black tank flush as it may be known, you want a dedicated hose for that. So I have this orange hose, and basically its connections are the same, except you don't need a water pressure regulator on this. Just hook it straight to the spigot, and the other side hooks right here, just it looks exactly the same as your fresh water. Now, once you hook this hose up, it is very, very important that you not turn it on until you have your black tank valve open. So important. Why am I making such a big deal out of this? If you hook this to the spigot and you turn it on, most spigots can flow about 5 gallons a minute. Gumby has a 30-gallon black tank. If I were to hook this up and turn it on and walk away, it would take roughly 6 minutes for this to fill the black tank to the top. And then what would happen? Well, my sewer vents are on the roof. So if I left this on and walked away and the black tank valve was closed, it would begin raining black tank water and its contents all over the roof and all down the side and all over anybody who happens to be in the vicinity. So this requires your attention. Okay, when making your connection to your sewer pipe system, to your discharge, you should have a cap. That cap is a twist lock, just like the others are. So we would untwist it and take it off. Then we would take our hose, bring it on, hook it up, and make sure, just again, like we talked about before, that we turn this until there's no room for it to turn any farther. Once the hose is connected to the sewer outlet or the dump station and to the rig, open your black tank first. Always open the black tank first. Open the black tank, turn on your sewer flush if you're equipped with one, and let it run. I let mine run until clear water is running through the hose. Once that is done, I turn off the sewer flush, let it run until it basically stops flowing, close my black tank valve, and open my gray. The gray, of course, is the other tank on board. All of your shower water and sink water go into the gray water tank. Once you are all done and nothing else is flowing out of your hose, close your valves, check your valves, and put your cap, unhook your hose and put your cap back on this side. That way you know the rig is ready to travel on this part. Then you can unhook your sewer flush if you're so equipped, and you can unhook from the dump station. Okay, that was fun. We wanted you to kind of see how to hook them up, since most dealerships don't have a way to show you exactly how to do that. I hope you enjoyed it. There are tons of other gadgets and toys that you can buy. Some make your life easier, some are just really cool. As always, we thank you for watching, and I hope this has been helpful for you, especially if you're a brand new RV owner. Now, it doesn't matter if it's a trailer or an A-Class. Get out there and have fun with it. We appreciate you watching. We ask, if you aren't already, to subscribe to our channel. We have a lot of videos out there. We have a lot of interesting things that we have purchased that we've covered in other videos. And welcome aboard.